Ma'am, I had actually came across Civils Daily interview guidance program. I had given an online mock interview and it lasted for more than an hour or so. And yes, ma'am. And Noor Mohammed sir was the chairperson of that interview, and he had also asked really, really good questions, particularly in the area of Indian mythology. So,
Right.
and that really helped me in the interview also because that was the only portion from my DAF which was picked in the interview. So, I would
Right.
really like to thank Civils Daily for their contribution in my.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Unheard series, where we take a deep dive into the journey of UPSC preparations with our toppers. Here, we try to understand their unheard talks, their unheard ups and downs of their journey, and to understand how they sailed through this examination. And today, I'm in conversation with the All India rank 30 of this year, which is Divyanshu Chaudhary, and it's going to be a real interesting talk, because one thing that I recognize about him is that he actually identified the trick to cracking UPSC pretty early. We all struggle with identifying how to crack UPSC, and I think this was his second attempt. And even in his first attempt, he went for the interview. So eventually we're going to get into that detail, but first of all, welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
And how are you feeling? Like, has the feeling sinked in, or is it something like abhi prelims ke liye padhna hai?
Ma'am, actually, to be very honest, that's the biggest relief कि अब prelims के लिए नहीं पढ़ना है. And the feeling has not quite sunk in yet, but yes, now with all the congratulatory messages flowing in and everybody wishing me, it really feels great. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. So Divyanshu, you've been an engineer. You've also done your MBA from IIM, and you did your job. So ye UPSC wala, I'll call it a keeda this time. How did this UPSC keeda came in for you?
Ma'am, actually, I was interested in civil services right from my time at BITS Pilani because in BITS Pilani, I had given my services in NSS and I was responsible for teaching underprivileged students there. So that sense of job satisfaction and hope and optimism really came true to me. And also, when I went for IIM, there was a project that I did with Teach for India. So I think when I went for my job in HSBC, I realized that my real sense of job satisfaction lied in those areas where I was, seeing the effect of my work, which was being impacted on the lower levels of the society. So that was when I decided that I should go for civil services because it will give me a very varied platform in terms of diversity of working areas to serve the society in a better fashion.
Right. So your platform to start preparing for UPSC was something late in your college time. So,
Exactly.
so did you start preparing then and there, or was it later that you started really preparing for this examination?
No, ma'am. I started only when I had left my job and came to Delhi back in 2018. To be very honest, I haven't read yet even a single newspaper till yet.
Oh,
And so reading the Hindu was also a very big challenge for me right from the starting. So I started back in 2018 only when I had come to Delhi.
okay. Now that is an interesting thing you just told me, and I'm going to dive into that. So, current affairs is supposed to be very important for UPSC,
Yes.
right? Was it like you were already something good with current affairs, like you knew current affairs from basic sources, and it was just like you had to pick up some magazine and revise it, or was it something that completely new to you?
So initially, as all aspirants start their journey from the Hindu itself, so it was a very new thing to me also. And I still remember that in the first month of reading the Hindu, it took me around 2.5 hours to do that. But then I saw some YouTube videos, particularly of Roman Seni sir, as he had outlined what all things to read in Hindu. So by then, that time I started out filtering stuff that what should I read, how should I make my opinions, and after I had sort of say mastered the reading of Hindu, my time came down to around half an hour. Then I went for these current affairs magazines and websites, which basically gave a account of the daily current affairs. So I was able to understand which one were the important current affairs, which I should note down in my register and revise them so that I can produce them well in both prelims and mains examination. So I started from newspaper, but eventually went on to do the magazines and the daily current affairs.
Okay, and how many magazines would you cover? Like 1, 2, how many?
So in my first attempt, I was very excited that this is my first prelims. So I think I went for 3 magazines at that time.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, but when I actually gave the first prelims, I realized that in prelims, the game is more about elimination of options rather than knowing stuff. So
Right.
I think in my second attempt, I learned from that, and that time I only went for 2 magazines. And but since I had developed that art of elimination by solving more and more mock papers, I was able to do well. I think my marks would have increased around 15 marks in my
Right.
second attempt. So
Right.
that was the strategy.
Okay, nice. Since Divyanshu, the prelims is coming up, so can you just give some advice to the students? Like, what is this elimination technique? Like, what is your funda behind this elimination technique?
Ma'am, actually, if you have a look at the UPSC prelims question paper, I think around 20 to 25% of the questions can be solved via elimination technique. For example, last year, if we have a look at the 2020 paper, a lot of portion came from agriculture, and everybody
Right.
was surprised that agriculture has taken such a big step forward, and we did not know any questions about it. But even if there were around 15 questions of agriculture, I think 12 to 13 would have been solved easily by elimination. So, when we talk about elimination, there are certain keywords to look out for. For example, if there is a question in which 3 statements are given, and we have to select which are the correct statements, any statement which has a negative connotation to it can be easily ruled out. So, that can be one of the fundas. Then, similarly, there are certain statements in which there are words like all, or nothing, or never. So all these absolute words can also be ignored, because in UPSC there is nothing absolute per se. It has to be a middle path. So I think having these fundas, grasping these by solving more and more mocks can really help in the actual prelims exam also.
Right. So, how many mocks did you appear for prelims? Like on an average?
In my first attempt, as I already said, I was very excited. I went for around 80 mocks, 80.
Okay. Okay.
And in my second attempt, when I realized that the game is of elimination rather than knowledge, so I restricted my mocks to around 40 to 50 in my second attempt.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. So, Divyanshu, like prelims, even this time, I was talking to a lot of students and they were like that UPSC has, given a lot of less marks in prelims. Like they were matching it to the key, and there was like gap of at least 20 marks that was
Exactly.
present. So there's I think a lot more subjectivity that coaching centers today are not able to gauge, right? So I think UPSC prelims is becoming much more and harder kind of a game that students have to appear into.
Exactly.
So what was your the most scariest stage out of all the 3 stages?
Ma'am, it has to be prelims only. And this is because of 2 reasons. Firstly, prelims is more of a luck-based paper, because there are only 100 questions. And let's say if a particular student does not have strength in history, and history questions come in abundance, then he has a backside to it. But when we talk about the mains paper, there are 7 papers, and the total marks is 1750. So even if you unfortunately happen to do bad in one paper, you can always cover up in other papers as well. So I think that is the first thing because of which prelims is most important. And second is, if you don't succeed in prelims, you don't go in further in the exam. So that's
Right.
very obvious that prelims is the most scariest stage.
But I think that did not happen to you. Luckily, you were able to write both. I think you were somebody who's aced mains, because I think you scored nice marks even in your first attempt in mains, and even in second attempt in your mains. I think your score is pretty good there. So
Yes.
can you give us some strategies, like how to go about mains? What are the important things to keep in mind while writing the answer, or what about the answer writing practice? All those ideas for the future aspirants.
Ma'am, if we particularly talk about mains, we try to divide this answer into two parts. So one is the static portion, one is the current portion. So in the static portion, since I had restricted myself to limited number of resources which are available everywhere on the internet and everybody knows all that, I just stuck to revising them again and again so that I do not falter in any of the static questions that come in the mains examination. And also since my option was mathematics, which is a static subject, so practicing it more and more helped me gain confidence to produce a good quality of answers. And if I talk about the current affairs part, then I knew that in mains examination, there are many questions which get repeated year after year. The format can be different, but the essence of the answer remains the same. For example, I saw that a question on Naxalism comes every alternate year. Now, whatever be the question, we know that we need to know the causes, effects, and solutions of Naxalism. That's all we have to write. So I had marked those important questions from the PYQs of last 4 to 5 years, and these questions I had either Googled the answers or the current affairs magazines that I referred to. If there was some news related to that, I used to mug them up. So this was my strategy for current affairs. And apart from that, the third thing was I had appeared for around two mock test series this year for GS and SA in my mains examination preparation. So I used to continuously upgrade myself based on the feedback that they provided it to me. So this was my overall strategy for mains.
Right, right. Divyanshu, usually, whenever we're talking about writing mains answer, usually we have a common structure. Like we have body, we would have advantages or the features, then we move on to disadvantages, issues, and finally, then there's a way forward. But always, students are looking for something that extra that can get you marks, extra marks. Like how does your
Sure.
copy stand out of that lot? So what was that extra? How did you make sure that your copy stand out of those 100 copies that the invigilator is checking that day?
Yes, ma'am. That's actually a very important question because, particularly in the mains examination, we have to do something so that our copy stands out from the other aspirants. So, as you rightly mentioned, my format for answer writing comprised of three parts: intro, body, conclusion format. That was the one I stuck to, and I had also tried to give the answers more in a diagrammatic form. So I included flowcharts and bar graphs and other charts as well. So because of which I was able to give a pictorial representation, which basically does not then need the amount of data, which most aspirant writes and is uh, not read by the examiner because either they don't underline it or it just goes waste. So I stuck to underlining the answers, intro, body, conclusion format. Diagrams were there, and at the same time, I always used to write my answers in points because in paragraphs, mostly the important details get skipped out. So I think this was my overall strategy for answer writing.
Right, good. And you attempted all the questions, right? None of
Yes,
them were
exactly.
left, right?
No.
So good. That was like a good strategy for me. Okay, before moving on to my next question, tell me who were like your major supporters throughout this journey? Like, what if I give you an award right now? Like, you already have an award, All India Rank 30. You go on the stage. Who are the people you're gonna thank here?
Ma'am, my first thank you would go out to my family, my parents, my sister, my relatives as well, who have been a constant supporters during this journey. And after that, of course, my friends, teachers, they have been they have kept me very much motivated, particularly during the mains examination because the stress is really too high. So I think I would like to thank them for their support and thankfully it turned out well.
Right, nice. So you talked about stress and everything. So, there is another different phenomena. Like for you guys, you were preparing in something, an era called the pandemic era, right? So already the pressure, the mental stress, that is so much huge, right? And you are add on to that UPSC pressure. So, how did you manage your mental strength throughout this period, or were there too many lows as compared to a normal aspirant would face? Because our families were going through so much issues this time. So, how did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
go? How did you manage the mental health during this preparation, especially in this time?
Ma'am, actually, that's a very important question because I remember 3 weeks before my prelims, my
Right.
entire family, except my sister, we had got COVID.
Okay.
So yes, and thankfully it got cured within a week. So, but I
Right.
still remember I was not able to study in that 1 week entirely because it was very
Right.
painful. But yes, for the mental health aspect, I remember that I had stopped watching news altogether because I know it was just uh, all
Mhm.
about deaths and everything. So I
Right.
tried to keep myself restrained from that, and I focused. I made a daily target for each and every day, and I had kept my preparation streamlined despite being the pandemic time. Yes, there was some news that really broke me, like someone in the family also suffered a major disease and all. But overall, I was able to do it because I stayed away from social media. Social media, to because every UPSC
Mhm.
aspirant should stay away from it,
Right.
and I also stayed away from all the other sources. So I think I was able to manage.
Right. No, I really feel for a lot of my students this time because you guys really sailed through a very tough time. And we know the pressures of UPSC. It's already so troublesome. Like it can get you down so bad. And with this times, like that was another level of courage, I would say here.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
Divyanshu, like I said, you went for interview in your first attempt also and in your second attempt. And there's one thing, guys, you should know that from first attempt to second attempt, he went from 140 score somewhere in 140 to 206, right?
Yes,
So
146 to 206.
yeah, 146 to, so that is like a margin of a lot of score. Like what happened? Was it the board was really good this time, or your preparation was very good this time?
Ma'am, actually, in my first attempt, there were some issues that I faced. Firstly, my interview was in the second week itself. So I did not get much time to prepare for it because honestly, I was not even expecting a call for the interview. So I just did not prepare anything between the times from mains ending to mains result. And also going into the interview room, I was very nervous because it was all pressure and everything. And I still remember I did two major blunders. One was that I answered two, three easy questions of polity wrongly. I think sir asked me about principles of natural justice. I ended up replying judicial activism. I don't even know why till today.
Okay.
So that was one mistake. And the second one was that I mistakenly interjected one member, and he ended up shouting on me. So I
Okay.
knew that the game was over then and there itself.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah. So that was the first interview experience for me. But in the second attempt, I firstly rectified my mistake by going for around 25 to 30 mock interviews because I
Okay.
wanted to be as confident as I can be about my preparation and DAF, because in DAF I had some peculiar hobbies like Indian mythology, which is
Right.
so vast that anything could be asked from it, and it's also a very interesting thing to have a conversation on. That was the first thing. And secondly, I was very calm and confident when I walked into the interview room. And I was very much firm about this, that firstly, I'll let them finish the question and then I'll answer it with complete
So,
ease. So thankfully, it turned out well. And this time it was Smita Nagaraj ma'am's board. So I was
okay.
able to score well.
Nice. So, did you purposely put that particular hobby so that everybody would show their interest there and you escape out weird questions that they ask in the interview? Was it a strategic move there?
Ma'am, actually, Indian mythology has been my interest from right from childhood. Because in our school curriculum we had the Ramayana and the Mahabharata already.
Right.
But I had actually put it as a strategic move only because if we talk about Indian mythology, everybody knows something about it, and
Right.
if we do not go into the factual details of it, it can be a very interesting conversation as to how to relate the past with the present. And not surprisingly, the only thing from my DAF that I was asked in the actual interview was Indian mythology. So I think it turned out pretty well for me.
Nice. So you usually the people say that you have the capacity to turn the board in favor of you. So you made sure that happens. But 30 mock interviews, that is a lot, you know.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I think that is the reason for shifting such huge margin in your score. So nice, Divyanshu. So say we have a version of Divyanshu who's right passing out of IIM right now, and you have an opportunity to talk to him. Would you advise him to, appear for UPSC, and if you would advise him, what all things would you tell him? Like, as a fresher, what advice would you give yourself?
Ma'am, my first advice would be to firstly have an experience in the corporate world, because I think that will help me going further in the administration also, since I know how an organization works, how to maintain relations with your peers and everybody. So I think that is very important. So I'll firstly advise him to go work for at least a year, which I also did, and then maybe
Yeah.
decide for civil services preparation. And one advice I think that I should also give him was that many people think, and I also used to think back in college, that civil services is something that is like, I don't know, it's very, very tough. The seats are so less, the aspirants number is so high, the conversion ratio, and that too getting into the IAS is like
Right.
just it's like a needle in a haystack. So, but I would advise him that hard work and belief in yourself can really turn things around. So if I think one believes in himself or herself, he or she can taste the success one day in the future. So that will be my advice.
That's a really great advice. I think your younger version would utilize this advice. So, Divyanshu, how did before we close our interview, I would like to ask, how did the civil state ecosystem, did it help you out in your preparations?
Ma'am, I had actually came across Civils Daily interview guidance program when I was giving my mock interviews, because I literally used to Google every possible institution that has given out mock interviews for IAS, and so
Right.
I contacted Civils Daily through that. And I remember that I had given an online mock interview, and it lasted for more than an hour or so. And
Okay.
yes, ma'am. And Noor Mohammed sir was the chairperson of that interview, and he had also asked really, really good questions, particularly in the area of Indian mythology. So,
Right.
and that really helped me in the interview also, because that was the only portion from my DAF which was picked in the interview. So, I would
Right.
really like to thank Civils Daily for their contribution in my success.
It's like our pleasure. It's
Thank
our
you.
pleasure that we were part of your success journey, and we would actually cherish it a lot. So before I end this great interview with you, where there was so much to learn from, one piece of advice for future aspirants who are coming up, who are beginning to think about this career, who are just thinking about whether they should pursue this, not like you said, it's so hard to get through. The conversion ratio is so difficult. So they are still in the dilemma whether we should, and there is a chance that they might not succeed. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So, what would be your advice to those people?
Ma'am, as you rightly mentioned, the chances of not succeeding are much higher as compared to the chances of succeeding. But one thing that I learned from this preparation was that I had evolved as a human being, both in terms of my personality and knowledge base. For example, before I had gone into the UPSC preparation, I was a very social person who used to interact with a lot of people and had a lot of friends and everything. But after coming into this, I went into a solitude phase, which really helped me introspect about how I was going to live my life and everything. So I think that really helped me in the interview also, because I was able to give the answers very calmly. And the second thing is that I think when we talk about the knowledge base, it really is a very good thing, because even if you don't succeed, you can use that knowledge base anywhere in your career, because knowledge doesn't go waste. And I still remember, since I already said that I haven't even read a single newspaper before I jumped into this journey, and but now whenever I hear about an issue being talked about or discussed in friends, at least I know that what the issue is about, and I can contribute some valuable points to it. So I think that makes me feel really good that I know what's happening around me. So please, if you are very confident and you have the belief in yourself that you can work hard and get through, dive into this preparation, and always have a plan B. I would really say that, because as I won't be idealistic here, I had a plan B, that I was a graduate from IIM Calcutta. So please have a
Right.
plan B, but believe in yourself that you can crack this exam. So that will be my advice.
Great, Divyanshu. But before I end, I think you're still a very social person. I can, I can completely judge that from our conversation of few minutes, that that spark of social person is still present in you. But it was really great talking to you. You such a great personality, such a nice attitude to talk to you.
Thank you.
And I really wish that you be a great IS officer, like one which our country needs, and you can bring about the right changes and work in the right direction. And all the best for your career for future from Team Civils Daily. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.